It's the time to get down.
The sight, sound, the body heat. Doing it to you in your sleep.
There you go.
Oh, there goes Miss Clay with those distracting motions. Dancing to the heathen rhythms.
Yeah, heathen.
I tell you, I bring those heathen rhythms.
Oh, I noticed, man.
But that was Drunk in a Smoky Bar.
Yes, sir.
Drinking an Imperial Porter mix. We love that track. You can get it for free. That's part of the whole Creative Commons movement that we support so much here at Pack Stereo. That song is a collaboration between individuals in different parts of the world, where they got together through the internet, and the guy actually matched that vocal a cappella piece up and played piano to it. And he said he was drunk in a smoky bar.
Oh, distraction commercial.
You a Laker fan? Oh no, you.
She's fingering the camera.
That happened.
I noticed.
Where's the body cavity?
Sir, there you go. So yeah, that's why I said it's a commercial. Anything that goes in front of the camera that we can't explain is a commercial. That's the way it is. So you just did a commercial. I like that commercial too, man.
Well, you guys, we got to at least acknowledge somewhere in here today, even though it could be depressing.
I know.
Let's acknowledge that Election Day happened yesterday. You know, I'm really, you watch TV and you get the impression that major things have happened. That the sky is falling. But then you turn off the TV and go out and start talking to people on the street, and you get the impression that no one even gives a shit.
Did you hear about Indonesia?
What happened? They've been having some bad luck over there.
Yeah, they had, was it a hurricane that erupted, a tsunami that then erupted, a volcanic eruption?
Oh, that's what's been going on, yes.
Oh, you know what?
Did you hear about that?
Let's pull it up. No.
Yeah.
I was so
What is that at today?
Right.
No, that was this last week.
Yes, we've been
The same day that they found those 14 bombs across the U.S.
right.
that were being FedExed to the different mosques
Wow.
from
How
Al
did that
Qaeda.
happen?
Wow.
How do those get on a plane, first of all? 14. Where they find them in midair? Somebody accidentally. Why is that ticking? Like, seriously. Like,
I
what,
know. My
14?
phone.
Well,
Holy fuck.
they actually that was one of the stories from earlier in the week that we didn't do, and they're actually trying to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot that went wrong there.
yeah.
I mean, it's like,
But
makes me feel real safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
14. If they catch one, I'm like, okay. 14?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm not all going
How
to the
did
same
that get
place.
through?
Like, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
how did that get through to get on the air?
I have no idea.
A lot of questions.
I have none.
There's a lot of weird shit.
A lot of weird stuff.
Who's
going
in
on.
charge of this operation? I
No,
need
it
to
makes
know.
you wonder about, like, not to get all biblical, but like all Armageddon, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bust some Wonder Woman out on his ass.
Seriously. No, you know what's weird is I was in Ohio about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if any of you guys saw this. Anybody else that saw this out there will know what I'm saying.
What were
It
you
freaked
there for,
me.
Christian?
I was actually there for a romantic
He was
romantic
on a romance novel
romance
cover.
novel covers.
Or many,
Oh,
actually.
man.
Yeah, but so I was there for a convention, and I was sitting there on my lunch break watching. This is CNN. I'm watching CNN. Nobody has seen this. They said, and it says, "Newsflash: China has shut down their major airport because a UFO was hovering over the airstrip,
I saw that one.
and it was
You
on
saw
for
it?
20
Yes.
minutes."
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't see
I saw
that.
that.
It was
Vic,
on
how
for-
come you didn't mention that?
Because
Dude, it was not on any other station ever.
believe it.
It was in any newspaper.
Right.
You can see it on YouTube.
Right.
But they turned that thing off so fast.
Yes.
And it
They're
was like,
tuning in right now. Do you hear
what the
that?
hell?
Christian, that's another area where, again, the popular media tries to imply that people are stupid because they believe in extraterrestrials. When you look statistically, it's something like 80-some%.
First of all,
Of
we'd have to be
individuals.
some cocky, arrogant
That's
assholes
what I
to think
said.
we're the only intelligent life form in the universe.
Or the most
Give me a break.
intelligent.
We're not even that
Please.
intelligent. Look at what we're doing to ourselves.
I hear you.
We're
I
pretty
agree.
stupid.
I agree. I agree.
Killing ourselves. We're
Speak for
intelligent.
yourself.
We're intelligent.
But no, you know that story about the UFO. It's been ongoing. It had a few occurrences where they had the lights. It's elongated, and they've shut down the airport before.
Elongated.
See,
was
see, I
special.
tried to
You
keep
said
up.
it. You said it.
Christian, what were you reading about in the Hollywood book last night at the bookstore? The
I
UFO,
forgot.
whatever.
Some UFO
whatever.
thing. Hollywood UFO. I forgot now.
Oh.
Topanga Canyon.
I actually
Yeah,
did
it's
a
a
bunch
UFO
of.
spot in Topanga Canyon.
I actually spent a bunch of time studying that and was actually involved with some folks who kind of they were actually kind of they were CSETI. They actually were the ones that would go out in the desert and set up lights and stuff. I knew some guys who were involved in that. They were a
That's
little
pretty
hardcore.
serious.
Oh yeah, they were pretty hard. They would go out there in the desert because one of them was a doctor, really known for that.
Right.
And it's part of an international group, but they actually were doing. We used to have these interesting discussions with some, not him, but some of his followers about whether or not, even if they're assuming were extraterrestrials, whether or not they would be friendly or not. Because the one issue I used to discuss with him was, why do you assume that they're so glad to see you? And he was, Mario, yeah, they are. You could tell. I said, well, to me, I said, at the most, they're ambivalent and trying to be impartial from what I'm seeing.
If they wanted to meet us,
Yeah,
we'd know them by
that's
now.
right. That's what I said. Obviously,
Maybe
they don't
just
want
wanna
to
study us.
Hey, there you go.
There's a lot of people that think we're like a pet project to them, and they just
Yeah.
come down and study us
That's
and
what I
pick one. I don't know. I don't
That's actually
disagree
what
with
I
that
think.
one.
Well, Heather, I think that man on this planet is a genetic cloning experiment. Ultimately, I think that's what I believe. The same kind of thing. It's interesting. People, those of us who are conspiracy buffs or whatever in this, one of the more common ones
Christian.
that they came to that whatever life exists here on this world was seeded here, and when you start tying it into things like beliefs about Atlantis, the fact that you have on both
Yeah.
sides of the continents pyramids, places with similar names. Okay, all these findings,
The
you
depictions of
wonder
gods in space.
right. At
Ships
least
and
let's. All I know is when I was in school, they taught us that early on people thought the world was flat. Well,
Dude, I
that-
use this.
who
I use
thought
this all the
that?
time.
right, exactly. Who
Crazy,
thought-
you're saying that. I always use that
Right,
depiction.
the world, and
And the first guy that said,
thought
"I think
that.
the world's round," they're like, "You're a
Yeah,
stupid
right.
motherfucker."
And yet, but then you go to the Yucatan and you find a calendar, and you realize that based on that calendar, that these people were charting the stars, which means they had to know not only that the Earth was round, but that there were rotational orbits.
And
That's
I was
proof.
watching a documentary on Discovery Channel or something. You know how the pyramids were built? Those big, huge blocks? Like, how did they get those?
They're
Exactly.
really like
Stacked
giant
like
people.
that.
They just stack them up.
Electromagnetic fields.
No, but I mean-
Now we really get into the heavy stuff now.
No, really, but those things are aligned with the stars too. How would they know
Yeah,
that without extraterrestrial
exactly.
kind of like
Right,
intelligence?
Right, just like isn't that proof that the fact that they're aligned to the stars, or how about the fact that you can fly up in the air and look down and see these wonderful structures that people did for miles and miles? How would you have even known, or why would you even try that?
Yeah, but you know
If
what?
you didn't
If
have that perspective
if human
to
beings
see,
think there's a
why would you
greater,
even try that?
a greater, larger thing than their government, they're not going to be so scared of the government anymore. They're going to be scared of this. So they're going to look up to that. So I think that it's easier to control people by thinking the way we think.
Yeah.
Same thing with the world is flat. If you don't listen to me, you're going to go off to
You're
the
going
end
to
of the
have
world and fall
people
off the
standing
edge.
outside the door.
No, but that's the truth because we,
tapping
I don't
everything.
want to get started on
No,
this. I start
Christian.
getting all crazy and shit.
But
Phones.
Christian, that's part of our. I'm a leftist in the sense that we feel like they peddle fear. They peddle
They do
fear,
peddle fear.
to get you to go certain ways, to get you to think certain
I'm
ways.
not afraid.
They peddle fear.
There you go. See,
not
man.
afraid.
And they want to think for you.
They're not worried about us, man. And what's what to me is when you impact people. When a great leader, I always call a flashpoint in life. There's flashpoints where a single individual can mobilize a lot of people in their beliefs, and
And then
all
they
they
get
do.
assassinated.
There you go.
There you go.
That's what I was talking
If
about.
you do anything,
Yep.
And then they get assassinated.
That's right.
That's it.
And of course, some people believe that the one bullet,
Yes.
they killed the president, and got away with it. Okay, all right.
They always kill people.
All right.
If the government wants to kill you, I think they're going to.
Right.
They could say Ronald McDonald kill you,
Right.
and
Yeah.
people are going to believe it.
I'm
Yeah.
still, and I'm sorry, I'm still one of those people. For all my scientific background, I know that to collapse a building in Las Vegas, it takes engineers weeks to plot where they put that
Yep.
dynamite to make a building come down clean.
Dude, I
but
used to
that
do that.
plane made that building come down
I
clean.
know. I used to do that.
I
I
don't
used to
believe
build
it.
houses. I used to take down buildings.
See, right.
And you have to put the detonation spots
Exactly
all over the
right.
place where they
That's
come
right.
down, so they don't fall on other buildings.
That's right.
Wow.
So,
but
yeah.
this building 9/11, that just fell clean. Okay, plane hits the Pentagon, but you can't see any plane wreckage. I had one of,
I have a really good video you should watch. It's on YouTube by Brian Adams called "Never Let Go." Oh my gosh, It's about 9/11. It's a
I might-
tribute.
Is that 9/11 or is that Afghanistan?
Well, they had 9/11. It was a tribute to
Oh,
9/11.
I think it's a
little
tribute to
video.
all fallen heroes or something.
So the elections. Okay. So do you
Dude,
think?
nothing's going to change.
Thank you. Well, that's my point. And you know, like I said, didn't we just have an instance where you had a Republican-controlled Congress and Senate with Bush early on, first came in? Nothing's different. The money's the same. You have a credit economy, and all my money folks that I know are telling me, and I got some insider friends, lobbyists in the government too. They're talking about financial recovery 2025, 2030.
Yeah, if that. Because
If
by
that.
then, by
If
then
that.
we're going to be bought up by China, and we're going to be bought up by Japan. All these other
Yep.
countries are Russia. They're going to come in
you-
and buy property on our country. We're not like the recession, the Great Recession from before, because we owned our own country then. Now we don't. So how are we ever going to recover to the point where we ever were before? First of all, we shouldn't have been that high in the market anyway. We shouldn't have had that real estate shit was nuts.
It
We
was
shouldn't
fake.
have been that far.
It was a
It was
manipulated.
greed.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't. I
Just
don't
greed.
think a lot of people know this, but if you ever look at a dollar, like a $5 bill, it says Federal Reserve Note, which is
right.
a loan.
That's right.
You know,
Yep.
and it's coming from.
Yep.
It's a loan of money from the Rothschild. I can't
A
even
privately
say.
owned
And,
group,
yeah.
the Federal Reserve
It's
Bank.
like 6 or 7 of
Loaned
them.
your
and they're
government.
Wonder
taking
Woman
money.
would know that.
Yeah,
That's credit.
That's
She's
a
hot.
Wonder
See,
Woman comment.
I'm telling
I
you.
like. I told you more than eye candy.
Look, give
Yep.
me
More than eye
give me a
candy.
knuckle. I want a knuckle.
Man, a Christian. Okay,
There we go. Shoot,
Y'all
I
got to
feel
come
better
get on the
now.
political show.
No, but if you think about it, I mean, I like Schwarzenegger, okay. I don't diss anybody, but how does anybody think someone's going to come into our government here in California? Because we're like a separate entity.
Oh,
Whereas
yeah.
California is
We're
the
like
rest of the United
our own
States.
country.
We are like our own country.
That's
We're like,
right.
what are we, like 20% of the nation's revenue or
Yeah,
something?
right.
yeah.
Or some crazy number. But how's anybody going to come in and fix our government or our economic system right here in California in 1 to 2 terms? We're so much in debt. We're like the national debt.
And here's
Yeah.
the thing: I tell everybody.
That's true.
When they always say fix, they assume it's broken. What if
that's a good
everything
point.
is going according to plan? From what I've been reading, a small percentage of people in the U.S. have, they say there's a core 2% that have quadrupled their holdings. In other words, in the Great Depression, they say that Kennedy sold his holdings the day before or something and bought them back at 20% of the cost.
So the rich get richer.
So the
poor
rich get
poorer.
richer. In other words, what's happening
More
right now is
supply.
people are buying up. I told my buddy, why do you assume that it's not going according to plans? Who's getting hurt? At the end of all of this, aren't they richer? You're borrowing money and then you're using your money. That's my issue with Obama's health care plan. $781 billion guaranteed to the same group of assholes I want to see go out of business. It's not that I don't want to spend money on your health care. I didn't want to guarantee $781 billion to those assholes. Now they really got money, and they've already jacked up your. That's why over the summer they all announced premium increases from 12 to 30%. Because they just got your ass. They got $781 billion, just like we talk about BP. Promised you, supposed to put up $4 billion. It ain't $20 billion. It's $4 billion a year for 5 years.
But
Well,
the thing is, too, if
have
you
a
go to
good
Europe,
idea.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a good idea. I think we should require, because there's a lot of people on this earth. I think we should require that everybody who wants to have a child gets certified and has to take a course. So that they don't
Like
get
car
to walk
insurance.
out
You
the-
gotta have
That
car
way we
insurance
have
to drive a
less
car. You
people
should be able
on
to.
welfare
Baby
and
insurance
food
to be able to.
stamps and
I
things
agree.
like that.
Every
They
idiot can
have to be
Okay.
qualified to have
Boy,
a
I'm
child.
going to throw all my news aside. 'Cause these some okay. Interesting point, because it's going on right now in India. India is launching an initiative right now in India to actually use retinal and fingerprint scanning to actually track 1.2 billion people. Okay, supposedly they're using it to combat people who are
Obese?
who are manipulating the government for benefits. Like, I didn't even know you got any benefits in India.
I didn't either.
Like
I didn't-
tax.
You get two
tax
pieces of bread.
manipulation.
Right. No,
No,
because
no.
they have see, India's in the midst of a sort of a growth phase where they're
Yeah, big
separating their economy too. You have the richer getting richer and the poorer getting
India's going
poorer.
to be the next superpower.
Right, and so you have a whole
That's right.
middle class and upper class that's growing in a big way, and they never had it quite like this before.